While I was at work, an unexpected email arrived, prompting me to hastily reach out to Greg. In response, Greg calmly explained that he had developed feelings for another woman and had chosen to embark on a new life with her. To my dismay, he revealed his plan to take possession of the luxury car, acquired through a loan in my name. Despite my efforts to dissuade him, my husband abruptly ended our call and subsequently became unreachable. In the end, Greg disappeared with his newfound love, leaving me burdened with a substantial debt as the mother of our 10-year-old son. As I grappled with the unfair situation, I found myself at a loss, uncertain about what steps to take next. At 35 years old, my name is Hannah, and my husband, Greg, is of the same age. Our family of 3, including our intelligent 10-year-old son, Ryan, faced an unexpected turn of events. Ryan, who exhibited remarkable intelligence from a young age, engaged in discussions about complex topics, leaving me in awe of his capabilities. In contrast, Greg struggled with job stability, never holding down a steady job despite my full-time employment and concerns about our future. However, there were moments of optimism as Greg managed to maintain the same job for 3 years, providing a stable income. Lately, Greg spoke of creating lasting memories as a family, leading us to decide on purchasing a $35,000 campervan. Due to Greg's inability to pass the finance company's loan review in his name, I ended up taking the loan for the campervan. Anticipation surrounded the long-awaited delivery day, but it took an unexpected turn when I received an abrupt email from Greg. In the message, he gracefully announced his intention to claim the delivered campervan, stating that, since the loan was in my name, I would be responsible for handling the repayments. Confused and desperate for answers, I immediately called my husband, only to discover the shocking truth behind his actions. He had fallen in love with another woman, and what began as a fling had unexpectedly turned serious. Contemplating a fresh start with her, Greg uttered his farewell, mentioning the divorce papers he had prepared during a previous argument. He asserted that he would file them and abruptly ended the call. It was during this exchange that I first grasped the depth of Greg's betrayal, a jolting revelation. Despite my persistent attempts to contact him, there was no response from Greg. Opening the drawer where the divorce papers were meant to be, I found them already gone, leaving me burdened with a substantial debt from a $35,000 car loan. Despite my ongoing efforts to reach Greg through emails and calls, he remained unresponsive. Returning home from work, I discovered the absence of the divorce papers. Ryan, my 10-year-old son, noticed my unusual behavior and expressed concern after dinner. "Mom, what's wrong? You haven't been eating much lately. Are you okay?" I hesitated before responding, "Yeah, maybe I'm just tired." When people lie, they look up to the right. Lying is bad. I've noticed Dad hasn't been home for 3 days. Did something happen between you two? Startled by Ryan's keen observations, I took a deep breath, realizing I could no longer conceal the truth. Feeling a need to unburden myself, I decided to confide in Ryan. "I see. It's just like Dad to do something like that. Aren't you sad?" "No, I kind of understood from how things were going." Ryan, seemingly foreseeing the future, appeared nonchalant about our parents' divorce. However, I knew he must be feeling a sense of sadness deep down. Silently apologizing to Ryan in my thoughts, I worked desperately to divert my mind from the distressing events. However, my body, honest in its signals, gradually succumbed to the toll of emotional stress, and my health deteriorated. On a day when a work training session was scheduled, I found myself unable to stand up. Instead, I ended up squatting down, apologizing to my concerned colleagues and expressing my inability to continue. Despite their worried voices, I couldn't respond, eventually collapsing. When I regained consciousness, I discovered myself in a hospital room, receiving a diagnosis that warranted detailed examinations. Consequently, I was admitted to the hospital. In that vulnerable moment, tears welled up as I contemplated my predicament. Looking at the IV drip in my arm and the sterile white ceiling, I couldn't help but feel a sense of overwhelming helplessness. Amidst my despair, Ryan, typically composed for his age, rushed into the room with genuine concern. He anxiously inquired about my well-being, prompting me to hastily wipe away my tears. Assuring him that I wouldn't leave him alone, I felt a renewed determination to get better for his sake. However, my condition proved worse than anticipated, leading to a serious diagnosis. The doctor advised prompt surgery, urging me to make a decision swiftly. Following the doctor's guidance, I underwent surgery. By the time I was discharged, a month had passed since Greg's departure. Returning home, I opened the mailbox only to find a demand letter for the car loan payment. Confused, I thought the repayment should have been automatically deducted from my account. In a panic, I checked my cash card balance, expecting to see the original $20,000, only to discover a meager $33.90. Hannah thought, Greg did this. I need to ask him to return the money, but I can't contact him. What should I do? Since I don't have the camper van, I can't sell it. After Greg left, everything seemed to be heading in a dire direction, and my mood sank even deeper. Witnessing my distress over this string of misfortunes, Ryan gently placed his hand on my forehead. You look pale. Are you feeling sick again? You don't seem to have a fever, though. I'm fine physically, but you see, your father not only took the car, but also all the money we had saved. I can't work yet due to my physical condition, and now we have no money. I'm at a loss. I see. Then I'll deliver newspapers, and I'll search the internet to see if there's any work I can do. Encouraged by my 10-year-old son, I told myself that it wasn't the time to be downhearted. Sorry for worrying you. I can't afford to be weak. I'll change my mindset and try to do whatever I can, I said, smiling at him. Ryan reciprocated with a smile and unexpectedly suggested, let's plan how to get the car back from Dad. How can we do that? The camper van is in your name, right? Yes, but what about it? Maybe we can. Ryan proposed an idea that I couldn't even imagine. I had never thought such an idea could exist. Also, I have no idea where your father is. Then let's check on my phone. A month ago, once when we went hiking as a family, surprisingly Ryan, who is typically very reliable, got lost during our family hike. Following his suggestion, we purchased a kid's cell phone and installed a GPS app on it, accessible to both Greg and me. With this app, I could track Dad's real-time location, and it revealed that he had been moving around a lot. Oh, is that so? But what if we find him, and he just says something vague and escapes again? I pondered aloud. In response, Ryan smiled and made an intriguing suggestion. Don't worry. I've already taken precautions. What did you just say? To my astonishment, Ryan had acted independently while I was in the hospital, achieving something unbelievable. I can't believe such a smart child came from me, I thought. Understanding Ryan's words, I was simply amazed. He had even discovered information about Greg's mistress. All right, let's teach Dad, who betrayed us, a lesson. Okay, let's start the plan right away. Together, my son and I prepared for that moment. Hannah thought, with Ryan by my side, I'm invincible. Bring it on, anywhere, anytime. 3 days later, my phone rang. Ah, it's me. Please, I need your help. Oh, who might this be? Don't play dumb. It's your husband, obviously. I'm being questioned by the police about you. At this rate, they might ask me to come to the police station voluntarily. Help me out. Oh, is that so? Just wait a moment. I immediately went with my son to where Greg was, and to my surprise, it was a forest park near our house where camping was possible. Greg was being questioned by the police in front of his car, looking bewildered. Feeling pathetic, I thought, this is the perfect moment. I sighed and requested the police to give us a moment to talk as a couple. Greg, feeling uncomfortable under the scrutiny of onlookers, urged Ryan and me to get into the car. Inside, Greg's mistress sat cross-legged, glaring at us. Apologizing for the inconvenience, I thanked them for coming but questioned why the police suddenly showed up at my place. That's because I filed a report about the missing camper van, I explained. Why would you do that? Greg asked, looking bewildered. It's obvious, isn't it? My car was stolen. Greg, foolishly believing that actions between spouses couldn't be criminal, was saying nonsensical things. However, the world isn't that naive. You filed for divorce, remember? Forgot? So we are strangers now, and you're driving a stranger's car without permission. That's a crime, Ryan pointed out, his sharpness evident. But I didn't steal the car. I just borrowed it for a bit, Greg insisted. Is that so? Well, I'd like to use my car now, so could you return it? That would be really helpful. I reached out my hand, asking Greg to return the keys. Reluctantly, he handed them over after confirming it was returned. Quietly, Ryan started talking. Hey, why did you abandon your family and choose to play around with this woman? Caught off guard by his son's unexpected question, Greg was flustered and awkwardly scratched his head. Seeing this, Greg's mistress chuckled smugly and chimed in. It's because I'm more attractive than your mother. Look at me, you can see it, right? He fell head over heels for me and decided to leave his family. Quiet. I didn't ask you, old lady. Dad, you answer. Ryan sternly silenced Greg's mistress. Greg remained quiet, and I pressed on. If you can't explain, that's fine. I'll just have the police come back and arrest you. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'll talk, Greg finally relented. He began explaining that Mandy had joined his company 3 months ago, and they became involved at the welcome party for new employees. Later, it was discovered that Mandy was pregnant, and Greg decided to start a new life with her, leaving us behind. Why did you take the camper van? I questioned further. I quit my job and thought about selling the car for money, but it seems like you were using it quite a bit, weren't you? I thought it was a waste to sell it right away, so we decided to go on a trip. Wait, how do you know all this? Remember when Ryan got lost? After that, as a precaution, we bought him a kid's cell phone and installed the GPS app. Did you forget? We installed it on your phone too, so I knew where you were all this time. By the way, I later found out from Ryan that he had pretended to get lost during our family hike because he wanted a cell phone. I was amazed at Ryan's ability to think and act so strategically. I suspected something was off with Dad, so I came up with this plan to monitor his actions. You really are a terrifying child. I will never become an adult like you, Dad, who betrays important people without a second thought. Greg, faced with the hard truth Ryan told, was a pitiful adult unable to offer any rebuttal. In contrast, seeing Ryan, only 10 but able to think and speak his mind firmly, gave me a sense of strength as a mother. I felt I couldn't lose, especially in settling things properly. Also, return the $20,000 you withdrew from my account right now. That was our joint property as a couple. I don't have to return it. No, it's not. That money was what I saved little by little since I was single. After all, you always quit your jobs midway, so we hardly ever saved money together. I was appalled to hear that the $20,000 had been squandered by Greg and his mistress. It was the moment I felt relieved about divorcing him. So that's how it is. But if you stole and used the car and my money, that's going to be a serious crime. What? I just sent the police away, so it's not their business anymore, right? I only said we would talk. I have no intention of withdrawing the complaint. I must add the theft of my money to the report. Mom, should I call the police now? I can do it with just one button on my phone. Mandy, Greg's mistress, had been watching our conversation but quickly tried to get out of the camper van. At that moment, she let out a scream that echoed around. The reason was that outside the car door, Mandy's parents were standing, their faces red with anger, about to explode in fury. Startled, she stepped back as her parents yelled at her. I'm sorry. Don't be so angry. But why are you here? Mom and Dad, I called your parents beforehand. What? Why? The truth was, during my hospital stay, Ryan had visited Greg's office and tearfully told them, my dad left the house with a woman we don't know, and my mom collapsed. Seeing Ryan's sorrowful and frail state, the people at Greg's office suspected Mandy, who had left the company with Greg, and gave Ryan her parents' address. Greg and Mandy had been overly friendly at the office, and there were photos showing them together at the welcome party for new employees, looking like a couple. After learning from the office people that you commuted from your parents' house, they decided to inform Mandy's parents about the situation. I went there with your photo? Your parents came out when I visited. Then I told them everything that had happened. So today, I contacted Mandy's parents and asked them to wait nearby for a while. How could you do this to me? The worst. I don't want to hear that from you. That's my line. By the way, your stomach seems quite big. When is the baby due? In 3 months. What? Wait a minute. That doesn't add up with when you met my husband. You two met only 3 months ago, right? What's going on? It's not time for the baby to be born yet. Hearing this for the first time, Greg stared at Mandy with wide eyes. Wait, what does that mean? Are you stupid? Don't you get it? It takes about 9 months from conception to birth, which means the child she's carrying isn't yours. You're so foolish. What do you mean, Mandy? Have you been deceiving me? Ah, I almost got away with it. Can't help it now that I'm caught. You're so naive. You can't see through lies at all. Really a fool. Don't mock me. My whole life is ruined because of you. What were you thinking? Greg and Mandy started an ugly argument, but nobody intervened, letting them have it out. Meanwhile, we contacted the police again to explain the situation. As it began to get dark, the forest park was brightly lit by the red lights of the police cars. No, really, I was wrong. I was truly wrong. I'm sorry. I'll work hard and never cheat again. So please just don't arrest me, Dad. People don't change that easily, especially lazy people like you. Exactly. Ryan's right. I can't trust you at all. Reflect on your actions and pay for your crimes at the police station. If I get arrested, I won't be able to pay back the money. Is that okay with you? I don't mind. Pay me back after you've atoned for your sins. Take your time. Don't worry. I've already found you a place to work. Let's see, there's Ryan's child support, plus the $20,000 you stole from me. I'm not sure how much it will all add up to, but you'll work and pay it all back. I had one last thing to say to Mandy, the mistress. You might think you're just an onlooker, but don't forget you're an accomplice to Greg's theft. Be prepared for that. When I told them that Mandy would have to pay if Greg couldn't return the stolen money, she shivered in fear. Mandy asked her parents for help, but they refused, saying, "We disown a daughter who causes trouble for others." Thus, Greg and Mandy were taken away in a police car together. Thanks to Ryan's smart strategy, we were able to punish Greg and his mistress, Mandy. Though they were released from detention soon after, they faced a hefty payment to me. Through a lawyer, I claimed $20,000 in damages. Additionally, I made Greg agree to pay $500 a month in child support for Ryan. I introduced Greg to a subcontracting factory of the company I work for. The support and other charges I claimed from Greg would be deducted from his salary and paid into my account. I also sold the camper van and was freed from the auto loan. Since then, my health has improved remarkably, and I am now energetically committed to my job. Ryan has been actively helping with household chores and errands. I want to keep moving forward strongly so that Ryan can pursue the path he loves without giving up.